Truth number 3. All right. It says, no form of righteousness can come from anger, but humility opens you to every good thing from God and others. I'm going to say that one more time. No form of righteousness can come from anger, but humility opens you to every good thing from God and others. And this is just a fact. Think about the time when you were most angry in your life, or even a time recently. Think about a time you were just angry or upset recently about anything at all. And I want to ask you this. When you were that angry, did the thought pass your mind, who can I help right now? And how can I demonstrate the most love to them right now? Whose life can I add value to right now in a way that they have never experienced before? Who can I show the love of God to, and how can I do that? Did any of those thoughts cross your mind when you were angry? No, for a fact they didn't, because when we are angry, all we see is red. But the crazy thing is that while I was sitting with that anger, while I was sitting in that season, while I was sitting in that space, God showed me that it was impossible for him to be able to sit in the same space with me while my anger dwelled there. In that season, bro, God was showing me that the place where anger was sitting in my heart, it was meant for him. And so if God was going to indwell me, if God was going to sit with me, if God was going to help me be more like him, if God was going to help me in my relationships, if God was going to help me in my personal development, if God was going to help me in becoming who I'm actually supposed to be, it is impossible for anger and for him to sit in that space at the exact same time. It is impossible. It's like you have to choose, because they cannot sit in the same space. And so when I learned that, when God showed me that, is when I began to intention myself to release that anger, when I began to allow God to try to help me release that anger. I'm a filthy rag in the eyes of God, but I was precious enough to be redeemed. And there's nothing that anybody has or will do to me that I have not done to somebody else in some way, form, or fashion, physically or in the spirit. I don't want to be in this conflict, because I cannot be in conflict, and I cannot be angry, and I cannot be this frustrated and be dwelling with God at the same point in time. It's easier said than done. It is so important, because that's how we actually show we know God, how we treat other people, by treating them with love. And so I'm saying all this to say it is not easy. It is not something that just comes at the drop of a hat, but it is possible with God. And so on today, what I want to encourage you with is that understanding that there's really no form of righteousness that can ever come out of sitting there and being angry. We can be consumed by a spirit of anger and also be consumed by the Holy Spirit, and it's just impossible.